This is the story of Liz and how she came to America from Romania after spending time as a refugee in Nazi Germany. Liz is 93 years old, currently residing in Western Hills Retirement Village in the west side of Cincinnati. She did not want to be in the video, so I will be telling her story for her. Liz grew up in Romania up until World War II, when the Russians came in and forced the Romanians out of their homes. The Germans offered refuge to any of the Romanians who were cast out by the Russians. Liz and her family packed up all that they had on one mule and had to leave their farm to head for Germany. Soldiers accompanied them, bringing with them only what they could. Her grandfather ended up turning around halfway through the journey because he could not stand the thought of leaving their farm on its own to be destroyed from the war. Liz and her family continued on, and they made it almost to the Hungary border before their carriage that their mule was carrying broke down. From there on, they could only carry what they could carry on their backs. They were accompanied until they reached the train, which headed them to their refugee camp in Munich. Aboard this train were thousands of other refugees from the surrounding countries, which Germany had also offered refuge to. They rode along in tight spaces, waiting to arrive to see what their living quarters would be like. When they arrived at the refugee camps, they were surprised at how tight the living spaces were. Everyone was very cramped, and one family would share an entire room for their living space. Liz ended up sharing a bed with many of her siblings for most nights. That is until Liz's father could find a job in Germany. Finding a job in Germany was easier said than done during this time, as the war had caused much damage around the city and bombed out most factories. However, just outside of Munich, Liz's father found a job working in a factory with other refugees. As the war drug on, the destruction of Germany's cities continued, and Liz feared for her life as they heard bombs nearly every night. Through this fear, Liz found the man that would become her husband, and they spent much time together. When they were married, they moved to the Americas, hoping to find the land of opportunity. They knew Germany was being destroyed, but Liz's family chose to stay behind as they hoped to rebuild a life there as soon as Germany got out of the war. In the Americas, Liz followed her in-laws who had lived there in New Jersey, but her and her husband moved to Cincinnati and found a home in Norwood. This was October of 1956. Liz and her husband began to form a family in Norwood. They found a house and were amazed at the advancements Americas had made while Germany was stuck in a war. They found a home and raised their kids. Liz's husband found a job in a factory nearby, and Liz stayed at home raising the children. Liz spoke very little English, and neither did her children, as they had raised them speaking German. When they began school, Liz became just as interested in learning English as her kids, and quickly picked up on it from things such as television and books. When the time came around, Liz was amazed at the advancements made for immunizations for her children to attend school. Liz realized she needed to start making money for her family, so she acquired a job as a nurse at the school that her children attended. When I asked Liz if the United States had lived up to the expectations she had when she came here, she reminisced about the better lifestyle and freer living she expected. She said that she found that here and was pleased to find such a good job with good money so quickly. She was pleased with the better health care offered here in America, as in Germany, during the war, there was no time to focus on the small things such as health care. I also asked Liz about her biggest shock when she came to America. She reminded me that when she lived in Romania, she lived off the land, and coming here to see grocery stores filled with food brought tears to her eyes. Liz still has distant nieces and nephews who come to visit her from Germany, but she is no longer able to travel to Germany anymore due to her age. It was an honor to hear Liz's story, and it is a bigger honor to be able to tell it to all of you.